Hello, and welcome to the show that's going to attempt to connect two things that are better off disconnected. I'm DreamSMP, and tonight we're going to talk about just that. So, my theory is basically that the DreamSMP canon takes place in the Homestuck Universe. Yes, I know, bold claim to be making, but just bear with me. I'm assuming, if even anyone's watching this video, is that you know about the phenomenon of DreamSMP better than you know about Homestuck. So I'm gonna just explain what the core of Homestuck is. Basically, it's about 4 kids that play a video game which destroys the Earth, but allows them to create a whole new universe. This video game is called Suburb, and it's closely related to time shenanigans, funky family trees, and possibly overpowered green villains. You can probably guess where this is going. First and foremost, let's talk about the most glaring and obvious connection: Dream himself. In my view, Dream is DreamSMP's first guardian. According to the Homestuck Wiki and the Homestuck lore in itself, a first guardian is an entity created via Suburb systems, mainly ectobiology, that we're gonna talk about it later, just so you know. A first guardian is an entity that exists to defend any planet destined for intelligent life and to facilitate that planet's ultimate purpose, which is to play said game. The first guardians also tend to be mostly featureless and have a strong white and green motif. They are also as old as the planet they defend and tend to be very, very hard to kill. This, obviously relates to Dream. Being the creator of the SMP, his character is, by all means, as old as the world itself, and in canon, his lives are unknown, or as far as I know. His species is also stated not to be human, which coincides with the fact that all the first guardians share a common genetic sequence, even though most of them aren't human. You might also think that Dream, being the main antagonist of the SMP, you might think that that's a pretty big roadblock in this idea, but despite their roles, first guardians aren't inherently good or bad. And there's even one of the villains, of the many villains of Homestuck, is one of the first guardians. This would mean that the Dream character, obviously, has a lot more power than he lets on, and a lot more powers, such as teleportation and a level of omnipotence and omniscience. Sorry for that, oops. Guess I need to charge my computer. Anyways, this could possibly be reflected in his access to the server's console, in which he can have access to Minecraft's commands. So that's basically what I'm basing on. For my second point, the confusing and weird family tree that seems to have generated in the SMP. Oh my god, okay, you know what? This is gonna suck, because I vehemently refuse to edit my videos, so just skip ahead, please. And just bear with me for a second, I'm an idiot at this. Okay, we're back. For my second point, we're gonna be talking about the confusing and weird family tree, where most people seem to have been parents, and at the age of 13, this can all be explained by the simple word I used earlier: ectobiology. Okay, maybe it's not that simple. Long story short, in Homestuck, ectobiology is a science that allows cloning, breeding, and genetic modification of organisms using a purification. Okay, yeah, I butchered that. But anyways, it's basically a very fancy teleportation and time travel combined. Ectobiology is done utilizing slime, and is actually a really interesting process, which I don't want to explain because I have no idea how to do it correctly and fluently, but definitely go read about it in the Homestuck Wiki. Anyways, since first guardians are created utilizing this process, and assuming Dream is in fact a first guardian, we can safely assume that ectobiology exists in the Dream SMP, which would mean that some of the members can be products of this method. And ectobiology, by utilizing slime that contains the genetic sequences of, the people it's cloning, sort of, also removes the need for any physical contact and allows people of the same gender to have offspring, viable offspring. This would mean that given none of them is a mutant, which is also a thing in Homestuck lore, it's not relevant here, but assuming none of them is a mutant, this means that they're either a player of the DreamSMP's future suburb session, or they are the ancestors of the would-be players of the DreamSMP suburb session. I think this is currently impossible to find out because it's not really relevant in any way. But that's basically all I have currently. In my defense, I haven't watched a minute worth of the DreamSMP live streams, so if I end up watching it, which I doubt, but maybe, I might come up with some more connections. I'm well aware that they aren't going to have a whole Homestuck-based subplot anytime soon, but even still, it's fun to theorize. Anyways, that's it for today's show. Come back next time if I haven't lost all motivation to make videos. Thanks.